No reason to delay, it is time to play. Game number 1 in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. And we're underway with the 3-seed Vicious Rhubarb, the 14-seed IanKeith, who has been dropping frames, but you know what, we'll fix it in post. And by that I mean somebody else will fix it. I don't know how to do any of that. Hey, Dan. Have fun. Both players pretty clean starts as we get going here. Some tucks and spins. Oh, IanKeith, just as I say that, missing a Z spin, but gets it fixed very quickly. Not in any sort of dangerous spot in the board. Couple of burns and it's out of the way. The Rhubarb on 93k, 72 for IanKeith. Rhubarb with a sitting L tuck. Waiting for anything for that left side. Gonna have to cover the well up because zero useful pieces en route for it. Does get the well reopened. That's only good for a triple, but a row 2 Tetris now opened up. Rhubarb's gonna have to deal with that piece. Just kind of chill it in the middle of the stack. We'll see how they decide to attack this. J's and O's are not the helpful pieces for clearing that out. L, however, does help. Both players working off a bit of a dig here. IanKeith actually just playing on row 2 for the time being. Gets that score to go to 129. I remember how to do math. 167 for Rhubarb. Similar line counts. So we got about a Tetris and a half lead from Rhubarb, but that's gonna get eaten up a little bit by that square not making it all the way over to column 1. Couple of burns gonna be required. NGC requesting people take their time because he's still 20 minutes from home. So it's a good thing I was also running behind because I wasn't even expecting to take this today. Neat adjustment from Rhubarb, standing the Z up for the T-piece. IanKeith's gonna take a Tetris, go to 180. Add another one to go to 202, 16,000 points back, but Rhubarb's gonna pick up a Tetris there to reopen that lead. Rhubarb, though, is 5 lines out in front. Add another Tetris, go to 265 for Rhubarb. Looking for a good mid-500 transition, could get higher with a bit of help from the game. IanKeith looking for a low 5 transition, but again, could get pushed higher if the game cooperates. Rhubarb's left side looking kind of vulnerable at the moment. Gonna require a couple helpful pieces. That would involve the game dealing helpful pieces. It eventually does. Both players nice and clean. IanKeith hitting the T-spin double. No extra points, but a little bit of style. 315, 301, same line count, so that Tetris and a half lead has been whittled down to half a Tetris lead in favor of Rhubarb. Though Rhubarb getting a little bit high up, waiting on a bar here. Now J dependent on the left-hand side. J, of course, not coming. Bar comes well over the, well past when it could have been helpful, but... And now both players high up and in a bit of a pickle. IanKeith in a dig. Good 12-13 high here. Gonna have to find anyway. There we go. Gets the bar over. Gets the score up to 353. Take 2. They're small. IanKeith now up into the lead. 376, 335. Almost a 2-score lead as Rhubarb had been battling with a drought of their own. Does finally get some Tetrises. Get the board down, but misflips that bar at pretty much the worst possible time and is going to have to battle the game a little longer. Doesn't get the S spin. And back-to-back bars at the worst time for Rhubarb. This is going to be a very testy dig here. Way up top. That L on the left is going to block things off, and Rhubarb's going to be done at 366. 407 for Lamau Yeats, going to be good enough to take game number 1. I'll fuss with this a little bit more while they get started in game 2 in 3, 2, 1. Three, two, one, and then the bot quit. The bot just didn't give a 0. Oh. That's a Tetris Monthly channel number 2, everybody. Lamau Yeats board. Not so hot starting off. Couple of holes peppered through it. Hey, I care about us. That's why I'm here, ready to yell numbers and words about the video games happening on the screen. The fact that Lamau Yeet, oof. Yeah, definitely didn't mean to put that J there and is going to extend this dig a little longer. Rhubarb, by virtue of having at least one Tetris, has a healthy lead as we get game 2 started. Tetris for Rhubarb. Lamau Yeats board continuing to just be struggling, kind of looking like they're just getting hit with like garbage lines being attacked in a more multiplayer focused game of Tetris. Rhubarb opens up the well once again. Has to close it off again. The bar taking its sweet time, showing up to 102 to 50,000. Rhubarb's gonna pick up another Tetris, go to 125. Lamau Yeats almost out of the worst of this mess and is gonna try for the perfect well transfer with that Tetris, but no more bars are in store apparently for a while, at least until well after it's been covered up. And the dig is lengthened for Lamau Yeats. Rhubarb 151, Lamau Yeet 60,000. Finally gets that dirty Tetris row 3 to go to 83, but work cut out for them. 50 lines at 85k, not the game Lamau Yeet is hoping for. Now set up for an even dirtier Tetris. Now 6 rows up with this one. Bar comes a piece too late, so gonna have to reopen it. There's a dirty Tetris, go to 111. Now down by a good 6 Tetrises, though, approaching the halfway point. And Yeet was trying so hard not to put extra weight on that hole in column 5, but has to succumb to plopping a bar on top of it. So Yeet likely going to be sticking to these dirty center wells. And, oh, is that plan going to work out? Again, bar comes to that well is covered, and now is having to sacrifice the stack a little bit more. Oh, gets it open just in time for that dirty Tetris. Ready for another one as well. Rhubarb not ready when that bar comes. A little bit of cleanup, but nothing too dangerous as Yeet finally gets another score. 173 to 319. Rhubarb with a commanding lead. Another dirty Tetris for Lamau Yeet. Just trying to do anything to get back into this game, up to 220, but still down by 120,000 points and now ahead by 7 lines as well. Rhubarb, a little high up here, but gets the well opened. Opted not for the double with the square, but then took it right afterwards with the next piece. Yeet actually passing up on a dirty Tetris to fill in a bar dependency. 243 to 372. Rhubarb now with a small hole to contend with. Leaning in to get a better look, make sure they figured this out correctly. Yeet finally with a clean board. 109 lines in and 293k. 399 for Rhubarb, make it 400. 6 lines back. So Yeet is going to have to keep the foot on the gas pedal through post here to try and make a charge back into this game. A bit of indecision with that T-piece, rather. Ended up having to create a couple of holes because of it. A shake of the head there. Nothing dangerous, just hurting the efficiency bit by bit. Still, though, Rhubarb holding on to a 100,000 point lead, though now that the lines have caught back up, Yeet is going to take this lead down under 100k. $460, $415 as Yeet has transitioned. Rhubarb will transition at 462, so that lead very quickly vanished as Rhubarb struggled to stay clean right before transition. Does get a column 4 Tetris. Go to 511 as Yeet goes into 20 at 441, so that lead down to about 70,000 points. Rhubarb settling for a triple there on the right. Yeet's taking another Tetris, goes up to 493. Now is really only down by about 1 score. Add a few lines. Oh, and Rhubarb covering the well right when the bar comes as well. They get that column 5 well open again, but bar not showing up. Now it finally does. 553 for Rhubarb, 505 for Yeet, who has basically done what they need to do to get back into this game. Now up on row 2, that lead that Rhubarb had that was over 130,000 points at one point is now shrunk to 40k. So Yeet running into some traffic on the board here. Gotta get pieces over that very tall left side. There's a square to get a double on the left. And Yeet's going to open up this row 2 Tetris well. Get the score, go to 573. 615 for Rhubarb. 42,000 points difference. Rhubarb stacked nice and clean. Gets a score there. Yeet comes up the well in the center and is gonna run out of time, run out of room, and be done at 573. 644 for Rhubarb. Hangs on to take game number 2 and tie this set up 1-1. GG. Who's gonna jump out to match point in 3, 2, 1? Tetris this time. It actually said it. Thank you, bot. I now have made the realization I forgot to do predictions for this game, and I feel a bit of a fool. So, since we're still tied, we'll do a quick one. Although, Yeet, once again, early troubles here. It's the crafty double with the S piece. Thank you, Hidson. I'm sorry. Patience Sofjinen for that score update from the other channel. Monthly Tetris 1, C-Dubs over Armstrong in a 3-1 victory. They'll be moving on to the quarterfinal matchup against Cheese and Futures, because reasons. But we're here, we're watching this match. Rhubarb's at 129, Lamau Yeet's got things figured out, is at 169. I believe that some streamers might say, hey now. We're on similar line counts, so it's Lamau Yeet with about a Tetris and a half lead, trying to expand it, but Rhubarb's going to take that Tetris right back. Rhubarb shaking the head, does not like the shape of that board, and for good reason. Having to create a pit of death over on the left made a hole in column 4. Now electing just to build on row 2. Lamau Yeet at 260, 204 for Rhubarb. So Lamau Yeet enjoying about a 2 Tetris lead. Spoilers. Hey, I'm not the one who did the spoiling. Well, I guess I spoiled their opponent. That match already happened. Rhubarb taking some row 2 Tetrises here is up to 273. 307 for Lamau Yeet, but they're 6 lines back, so a little extra room. However, that T-piece on the left, not exactly, I think, the way most would want it to be. Rhubarb got a little high, decided to take a safety triple, gets a Tetris right afterwards, up to 326, 337 for Lamau Yeet. Got a hole in column 1, but is ready for one more Tetris first. But will elect to take care of that hole. Think of the YouTube normies. Well, the fans out there on YouTube, my dear darlings, you should be watching this live. That's the real trick. Come join us, twitch.tv/monthly Tetris 2 in this case. And you can catch these matches live and see Lamau Yeet have to try and get that bar over to column 1, just barely gets it. Rhubarb on 421, Lamau Yeet stack a little bit the worse for wear, but gonna get a Tetris here, go to 414. Add another score, go to 437. We are just about neck and neck here in game number 3, the way we like to see it. And just, like, dub over me with, I don't know, more flex style. Lamau Yeet looking for this column 8 Tetris with transition approaching. Rhubarb has somehow gotten many lines ahead. 6 to 8 lines ahead at the moment. Both players now get their stacks ready for transition. 538 for Rhubarb with 1 score left. 471 for Lamau Yeet with 2 left. Transition for Rhubarb at 562. Another score. Go to 586. Trying to build up a lead here as we get to the 19 speeds on their side of the board. Lamau Yeet is ready, waiting for one more bar. There it is. There's the score. Transition at 518. Rhubarb's almost a level ahead, but that Tetris from Lamau Yeet gonna kind of help expedite things a little bit here. 613, 543. Rhubarb ahead by about 70k at the moment. Lamau Yeet got a hole in the left side, an S-piece that really didn't want to cooperate. Have to take a couple burns to dig that out. Rhubarb missing out on a T-spin. Nothing fatal, but it will require a couple extra burns as well. players clean back up, though. 671, 602. Rhubarb in the lead, ahead by a couple lines as well. But for now, it remains a true lead. Shaking their head, though. Didn't like the way that they tried to approach that, I think, but a couple more burns will have it taken care of. 687 and 23 for Rhubarb. 658 for IanKeith, still in 22, but taking a safety triple there. Actually sacrificing the left side of the board for a little bit. Rhubarb as well, getting into a bit of a pickle here. Is going to get the well-opened, the stat clean back up, though, very quickly. Gets a bar, gets a score up to 727 into 24. IanKeith still with digging to do, is at 700,023. So Rhubarb trying so hard to open up a true lead here. IanKeith with a roll 3 dirty Tetris to go to 730. But now bar dependent both sides. Gonna throw into the left first. Create a hole and just work on bringing this down. Gets a row 2 Tetris on the right to go to 764. Rhubarb is at 824. Still ahead by several lines. But IanKeith still just working on transferring this well back to the right. Is not going to be Tetris ready for a little bit. Rhubarb 859 now into 26. Yeats at 771 here in 25. And takes a triple there. Left side kind of vulnerable, but there's a bar. There's a left well Tetris to go to 815. 904 for Rhubarb, who is into 27, ahead by 8 lines. So it's a slim true lead right now for Rhubarb with the thrill screen approaching. And that T-piece did not make it all the way left for Rhubarb, but they're still going to get a Tetris go to 945 and a 28. IanKeith is at 849. Oh my god, these 27 colors are pain. Oh my god, half these pieces are completely invisible. They're gonna get their well open. A double and a Tetris to go to 893 for IanKeith. Rhubarb into kill screen. Gets a kill screen, touches up to 993. And since these players are rollers, they're likely going to have the ability to add more and more points here in the post-post. We both go into kill screen, 965 for IanKeith. Rhubarb's got the max out, but his board is falling apart. But IanKeith's board, no way anything's getting to the left. They're 966, they're done. Rhubarb clings to game number 3. GG. And is ready as well. We got a game 4 to play. Rhubarb on match point, but can IanKeith bring us to a decider? Who's got it in them in? 3, 2, 1, Tetris. And now the chat's in French. Can I bring Yeats cam to... I can try, but every time I try to mess with the cameras, things go awry. Hey, it didn't horribly break. It's a Christmas miracle in June. Yeah, no, I was honestly waiting for, like... excuse me one second. I was honestly waiting, for moving that down to, like, suddenly shunt one of their boards off into space or something. Oh, Rhubarb with a couple of missed flips here early on, but nothing dangerous. Nice and low on the board, able to think about how they want to burn this out. Of course, 0 helpful pieces come for said burnout, so more burns required. Lamau Yeet at 194, 192 for Rhubarb. Yeah, this one's pretty close. And that sounds like a skill issue. The chat has gone back to French again. I'll go back to watching Tetris. 263 for Rhubarb, 263. We are dead even tied. Hot diggity dog. I love seeing those. They're now separated by a single, and then also a Tetris. There's the Tetris part of the separation handled. Lamau Yeet creating a bar dependency on the left, but gonna take the Tetris first. Rhubarb just working on getting built back up here, tucks in that J, gets a single. Waiting for a bar that is not too keen on showing up. Finally does after a few more burns are taken. 314, 356 with a 4-line difference. So Lamau Yeet's managed to take a slim lead here, about 1 Tetris. Both players, nice clean boards. Yeet gonna get another score, go to 403. Ooh, Rhubarb with the sketchy late adjustment to get the Tetris, but then finds a neat way to solve the resulting burns that were created. We'll get another score to go to 390. 450 for Lamau Yeet. Late rotations on the L from Rhubarb to get a piece into position. Another score for Lamau Yeet to 495. Rhubarb takes a Tetris, goes to 459. Separated by about a score and a half here with transition starting to loom. Lamau Yeet again opting for a triple there. Be honest, fool asking, is this how people hold the controllers while playing Tetris? This is the most newly devised control technique. It's called rolling. These players are drumming their fingers on the back of the controller to shove it into their hand in order to create more presses per second, moving the pieces way more quickly. I haven't done my qual for next month's Hopefuls circuit. As Rhubarb's transition at 558, Lamau Yeet is a Tetris away, looking to transition at 600k, and we'll get it with that score, 600,000, 840 for Lamau Yeet. Solid transition into 19. Rhubarb already stuck playing 5 high and very dependent left side. Gonna get a couple pieces to help out with it. Just decide to start burning this down. We're still early in post. No reason topping out this early, just trying to go ham on an uncomfortable board. Speaking of, Lamau Yeet's gonna have to find a way to get some stuff to the left side. Any sort of material will help. Oh, that bar squeeze is over just barely. Still a lot of work to do here for Lamau Yeet, though, just to try and get out of this dig. Rhubarb is clean, ready to start scoring again. Will get that Tetris there, go to 626. Lamau Yeet still ahead for now, 638. Does get that well open back up. Will get the Tetris, go to 666. 626 for Rhubarb, so it's a 40,000 point difference here, level 21. Rhubarb just waiting on a bar, taking very safe skims. There's a bar, there's a score up to 658. Lamau Yeet's on 682. A bar dependency on the left-hand side. Gets the bar for it, gets it over, gets a score. Up to 711 into 23. Grab me a coffee while you're there. I'm exhausted. Rhubarb's going to take a score up to 716. 740 for Lamau Yeet, so this gap is narrowing more and more as these players careen through the 19 speeds. Tetris Rhubarb up to 749. Wow, that fit setup. That was just rude. That was a very rude bit setup, and I love it. I'm here for it. Tetris Rhubarb, 786. Lamau Yeet, 828. Add a score to go to 860. Trying to reopen this lead. Rhubarb's been messing with this center well for perhaps a little bit too long. There's another bar for a score for Rhubarb, but gotta figure this stack out now. 927 for Lamau Yeet. This lead approaching 100,000 points as Rhubarb's been messing with these burns. But now Yeet's board is in a bit of a state here. Gonna have to try and find a way to open this back up. War Machine 84, thank you for the follow. You're here watching an intense game 4. Oh, as Lamau Yeet misflips on that J. And doesn't get that bar all the way left. Does get another piece over for a double. But this is a harrowing dig way up high, and especially with these nearly invisible pieces. Rhubarb, dirty Tetris on row 3 in the meantime to 874, is still down 70,000. Lamau Yeet's going to top out at 945. Rhubarb's got a very tricky Chasedown, has to get to 946. 946, but there's not a lot of time left. They'd have to find a way to still find 2 Tetrises. This board is in no condition to do it, and no bar comes. 886, Rhubarb is done, and we go to a decider. We got a ready from Lamau Yeet. We got a hover 3 from Rhubarb. We got a game 5 to play in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. So it all comes down to this. Final game here. The deciders are out. The flex style is on. I wouldn't have been surprised if, with how... Oh, hold on a moment. We got to talk about Lamau Yeet's board here. It is in a serious state. A couple helpful pieces would make this burn so much easier, but the game's got to deal him. Finally gets him well open. There's a bar, there's a score, and we can get a breath of relief for a moment. Still some digging to do, but at least is off the top shelf for the time being. Goodness gracious. Yeah, frankly, if my spot in the semis had been canceled because of how jank all of that was, I would not have been in the least bit surprised. But hey, we're also not in hopefuls at the moment. We're watching challengers. 79,000 for Rhubarb. Lamau Yeet gets a score up to 68,000. We have a very tense, very terse game 5 so far. Rhubarb with a slightly dirty center well Tetris go to 104. Lamau Yeet gets the well reopened, is at 70,000, adds a score to go to 93. Rhubarb's going to get another dirty center well here. Go to 134. 117 for Lamau Yeet, who managed not to lose out on too much pace despite how absolutely horrifying that dig was going to end up being. Rhubarb could get one more Tetris here to transfer the well, but the bar doesn't quite come in time. Lamau Yeet's going to get back-to-back jacks there to go to 190. is 7 lines ahead, but also ahead by 40-odd thousand points. As Rhubarb takes another score, goes up to 175. These center wells from Rhubarb have really been keeping this set a lot closer. Oh, the best flip of the L on the left. Diving boards galore up there. Oh, that flat bar bird overshot. Rhubarb is in a real mess. Oh, and the best drop of the L is gonna end it. 179, Rhubarb is done. 262 for Lamau Yeet. Completes the comeback and will be advancing to the next round.
Hey everybody, this is your old pal Vandweller, host of Classic Tetris Monthly. If you like this video, hit thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, please subscribe and bang that notification bell. And follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/monthlytetris. Thank you, and have a nice day.